East London today.
Philip, thank you very much. Now, more than two-thirds of terrorism offences and attacks in Britain in the last 10 years were homegrown. That is according to the Centre for Social Cohesion, which looked at the profiles of the 124 people convicted of Islamic terrorism offences since 1999 and found that 69% of them were British nationals. Now, the research also suggested that 7 of the UK's 8 major bomb plot cells contained individuals with direct links to Al-Qaeda. Robin Simcox is the co-author of the report. Hello, Robin.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I think some people listening to the headline in that report will be understandably concerned, but if we look a bit further into the figures, we're looking at 124 people who were convicted of Islamic terrorism offences since 1999. What kind of offences are we talking about? Because clearly we're not going to be talking about the top end, so to speak, for everyone.
Sure, no. I mean, the figure is actually 119 convicted and 5 suicide attacks which have taken place in the UK. And it ranges from things like conspiracy to murder, which tends to be the serious, high-end charges, through to things like possession of a terrorist document, where you get a much lesser sentence. And what we found is those charges which have been for a long amount of time, and those major terrorist plots, they're the ones that inevitably have connections to Al-Qaeda. A lot of the lower level stuff are people who have radicalised themselves over the internet and don't have those same direct links to terrorist groups.
It's interesting because we have heard, of course, in the past, from the previous government anyway, that I think I'm right in saying the majority of terrorist plots had some kind of origins or links with Pakistan. Does that conclusion or claim still coexist with what you found?
Well, yeah, that's absolutely right still. I mean, if you look at what we identified as the 8 major terrorism plots that have taken place in this time, 7 of them, around 7 out of 8 had links in Pakistan, be it either normally through terrorist training. Now, so the two things can actually coexist, because it's often homegrown British nationals, often with links to Pakistan, who can then go across there. I mean, many hundreds of thousands go from Britain to Pakistan every year, and they found it increasingly easy to get terrorist trainings in areas around Pakistan.
If we are talking about, I'm not sure whether you said the majority of those 119 convictions were things at the lower end, but if that is the case, should we be worried about this, or not as worried as the headline would suggest?
Well, I think we should be worried. I mean, I think we need to seriously consider why it could be that people raised in this country, and you know, a lot of the people we looked at in the report were people highly educated who had terrific prospects in life. Why are they turning away from Britishness and everything to do with living in a liberal Western society and following extreme ideology? This seems to me to be one of the most pressing matters possible. And when you have a week like this where it's the 5-year anniversary of 7/7, I think we have to ask ourselves some real serious questions on
Okay,
this.
Robin, thank you. That is Robin Simcox, who co-authored that report by the Centre for Social Cohesion.